Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the fifth week of the Tuba Bach 2020 Festival. Glad to have you join us, whether you're joining us via Facebook or YouTube or live on Sunny 97.3 FM. We are glad to have you with us for today and look forward to sharing this program with you. So, want to, first order of business, thank all of our sponsors that make this program possible. Dan Terry's office of Edward Jones, the Bush Insurance Agency, McDonald's Restaurant of Big Rapids, Bab Ford in Reed City, Crossroads Pest Control, Mecosta County Visitors Bureau, and the Stone Hill Veterinary Clinic. Also want to thank Immanuel Lutheran Church for this venue where we are broadcasting from, West Michigan Piano for the beautiful Steinway piano back behind me, the Michigan Council for Arts and Cultural Affairs, and a big thank you to the National Endowment for the Arts for a COVID relief grant that has helped make this season possible. And as I mentioned, also want to thank Sunny 97.3 for helping out with this, the radio broadcast today. So our personal sponsors for the festival this year are Amy Boozy, Daryl Corey and Barbara Pillsbury, Bob and Mary Clark, Jarena Keys, Lee and Karen Kitson, Gordon and Janet Millette, Karen Motawi, Gunder Myron, Jeff and Jane Peddlety, Judy Tressler, and George and Alice Wales. So wherever you are right now in your living room or in your car, well, not in your car because that wouldn't be safe, but clap for those folks. And if you know any of them, please thank them and let them know that you appreciate what they do to support the arts. And if you don't know some of those businesses or people, find them because they're all really cool. So there you go. So this weekend, this fifth weekend of the festival, super happy to have some folks up from the Detroit area. And here to start the program on stage, this is Jeffrey Zook. He's the principal piccolo player in the Detroit Symphony and an amazing flute player, and even better than that, just a wonderful person. And then back here at the piano is the always amazing Alvin Waddles. So welcome to you, gentlemen, and we're going to start today's program with a flute sonata by J.S. Bach. This is from roughly about 1720, so 300 years ago. And this is the second flute sonata in E-flat major. There are 3 movements to it, so hope that you enjoy this piece. Thank you. Well, thank you, Jeff, for that especially, and Alvin too. So now we're going to move about 70 years ahead of that to the later part of that century, and Beethoven. So this was a trio that Beethoven wrote when he was probably in his early 20s, early to mid 20s, and at that time he was studying composition with Haydn. And so this trio is going to sound very classical, both because, just because it is. So there it is. He was studying with Haydn, and it was written at that period in his life. And so he originally wrote this piece for flute and bassoon and piano. And Beethoven, as you know, is a pianist himself, and there's all sorts of notes in there for the piano. It's a heck of a workout for Alvin, and a little bit of work for Jeff and myself too, but I hope that you enjoy this. This also is in 3 movements. There's a fairly lengthy sonata form opening allegro movement, and then a really beautiful adagio movement, and then the final movement is a theme and variations, and we all get a crack at playing some fun variations on this theme. So hope that you enjoy Beethoven's Trio Sonata.
Well, thank you guys. It's not often I get to play that piece, especially with a great euphonium player. So it was a pleasure to play the Beethoven. Now we're going to start transitioning the whole program to our jazz portion. So we're going to start with just a little bit of change of the character with a piece by Gary Schocker. Gary Schocker is the most prolific living composer of flute music today. He's a flutist himself, but he also composes for off-Broadway. So there's a pop element in his music. There's a kind of a Broadway jazz kind of harmonies that are going along. He's written hundreds and hundreds of pieces for the flute. And this piece is actually written for the flute, bassoon, and the piano, much like the Beethoven. What's interesting about Gary is, because he's always composing, he writes about whatever's happening in his life at the moment. So there's always a story, and if you can get him alone and say, hey, why'd you write this piece? He's got a story for it. So I don't know the story for this one, but it has an interesting title. It's called the Sonata Soufflé. So he was obviously whipping something up when he wrote this piece, and he whipped up a great piece. It's in 3 movements. They're called Batter, Matter, and Patter. Here's the Sonata Soufflé by Gary Schocker.
Well, thank you very much for that one. So that was written not terribly long ago, just within the last 10 years by Gary Schocker, as Jeff said, a flute player. This next piece is by a gentleman named Michael Burns, who is a bassoonist. So yet another trio for flute, bassoon, and piano. And so that's that. This one, though, we're moving even more towards the jazz end of the program. And so this is a piece, it's called Riffs, 2 movements, a waltz and a shuffle. Michael Burns, as I said, is a bassoonist. He teaches at University of North Carolina in Greensboro and is active down there in symphony stuff, but also does a fair amount of jazz bassoon playing. So he wrote this piece, and so more and more we're about to give Alvin a chance to cut loose and do what he does. So we do the waltz with the 3 of us, and then even though it's not written in the original arrangement, for the second movement, the shuffle, we're going to invite Marion Hayden in to play that. And so if you have been watching Tuba Bach for the last several years, Marion has made several appearances here, and it's always such a treat to have her up here. She's absolutely my favorite bass player to have up here and all the things that she does, and she's just so wonderful to have. So she's going to join us for the shuffle, and then we're going to add even more players as it goes on. But so this is Michael Burns' Riffs, the waltz, and then the shuffle. Well, thank you very much. So, going to invite yet another person up to the stage, a brand new person to Tuba Bach. Excited to have him here. Actually, only sort of brand new, because I remember in the early years of Tuba Bach several years ago, this is Tariq Gardner that's going to come join us on the drums. And Tariq would come, and he helped schlep his mom's bass and her amp and things like that. So Tariq is Marion's son. Super happy to have you here, sir. So he's going to join in on the drum set. I'm going to take a break and go out and listen, because this is a really awesome piece for jazz trio and flute, and Jeff's going to talk a bit about that.
All right, thank you. Yes, so we're going to play a movement from the Claude Bolling Suite for flute and jazz trio. I remember it was about 1976, and my dad bought me the record with Jean-Pierre Rampal and Claude Bolling playing this piece. And I remember it had a scandalous album cover, because it had, like, the flute was in the bed with the piano, and they were smoking a cigarette. It was very like, Dad, why are they smoking a cigarette? So I remember I had it on my wall for a while, because I thought it was like I wasn't supposed to or something. But yeah, and I just remember this recording really hit me, and I got the music right away. I think I was probably like in the beginning of high school, and it was an introduction into new styles for me. Really, I was a classically trained pianist and flutist at that point. And what's cool about this piece is that he bridges the gap between the classical and the jazz, and it kind of goes back and forth. Many of the movements kind of talking classical, talking jazz, and they meld along the way. So I was just saying that this is probably the best ensemble I'll ever get to play this piece with. So this group amassed in back of me, I've never played this piece with a sound of this group that we get today. So this is the Javanaise from the Claude Bolling Suite.
Wasn't that fun? So thanks to all of you. As Jeff said, it's so cool to play with these folks behind you, yeah?
I know.
Now, I would like to say, so 15 years of Tuba Bach, it's so cool to get to hang out and play with flute players like Jeff and with trios like this behind and with all of the years that go with it. So thank you, sir, for all that you're doing. So before I introduce the next piece, so this is a good time as any. If you enjoyed that Claude Bowling piece, which I don't know how you would not have, this is a good time to talk about one of the ways that you can support Tuba Bach if you are interested, and that would be through buying our recordings. And one of the ones that we did, I'm going to say it was maybe 3 years ago, was a recording project of all Claude Bowling music. There's the Toot Suite for trumpet that he wrote, and then also we did a movement from one of the flute pieces, one from a cello, but we did that with myself and Alvin and Marion. And at that time, Tariq, you were still in school or wherever it may have been, but that was with Dave Taylor. So there's that one, and then there's another one with the Harlem String Quartet that I did, and another one with Alvin and Rod Dixon. And again, he's been here several times over the past years. And then just this summer, we did another project that if you want a preview of what that's like, you could go back and dial up the second week of the festival this year when Alvin was playing piano and his son Dominic was playing saxophone, and I was over here with the tuba, and then my son Noah was playing xylophone. So that CD is in the works right now and running through the production stages. It's called Noodlings, and it's all ragtime and jazz from the 1920s. So if you are interested in those, there are links to that on the website. It's under the donors and sponsors button up at the top. It's kind of hard to find through, but spend the time and find your way through it, and we would love for you to have those. So I mentioned how cool it was this year to have, and I said something about Tariq too, and you're back behind it, but it's been so much fun. I think the very first year that we did Tuba Bach, Noah was in kindergarten, I think. The first time that I met Dominic when he came up, I believe he was 8 years old, and so we had him, and then I don't know how old. When's the first time you might have been in middle school? 10 maybe, when Tariq started coming to these things, and it's so cool. And so Noah's at Michigan State doing all that he's doing in the music program there in performance and composition, and Dominic is down at Wayne State in the music program, and Tariq just graduated, yes, from the University of Michigan in the jazz program. So awesome to have you here, and it's so not only, it's like watching people grow up and do cool things. So now I'm going to watch these people do cool things, and just a piece with the trio behind. A song called You Look Good to Me, and Alvin said I got to tell you a story about this. It was written by a gentleman named Clement Wells. And so while I was looking for things for the program for online, I thought, oh, who's Clement Wells? Because I hadn't heard of him. I knew the piece, Alvin had told me, and so I listened to it, the Oscar Peterson trio and all that. And I thought, well, who's Clement Wells? Turns out Clement Wells is a mailman in the Washington, D.C. area, and played in jazz clubs at night. He was a vibraphone player and played in clubs at night, and he'd written this tune, and I guess Oscar Peterson had heard it somewhere along the line, and so he started playing it. And then there's also lyrics to it that aren't happening today, but the lyrics were written by a dentist in Wisconsin who was like the dentist to all these famous jazz musicians, and they all refer to each other to this dentist. So it's become a jazz standard, and it's a really cool tune, and it was written by not any big major jazz musicians. It was written by a mailman and a dentist. So this is called You Look Good to Me.
revered postman, to the late, great Fats Waller. Now, most of us know Fats Waller as that cheerful little earful from Harlem who wrote many songs in the stride piano style and was often known and noted for not only his brilliant piano playing, but his wide sense of humor. But this song is a bit different. He wrote this song, and interestingly enough, though he did record it, as he recorded many things, the only recordings that exist of this are just of him playing the organ, and it's a rather somber version at that. The lyrics, he never sang it. It was later made very popular by Louis Armstrong and others who kind of championed it during the early years of the civil rights movement. And it's a little song called Black and Blue. Cold empty bed, spring's hot as lead, feel like old Ned, wish I was dead. What did I do to be so black and blue? Even the mouse done run from my house. They laugh at you and scorn you too. What did I do to be so black and blue? See, I'm white inside. Oh, but that don't help my case. 'Cause I can't hide what is in my face. See, I'm white inside. Oh, but that ain't never never help my case. 'Cause I can't hide what is in my face. How will it end? Ain't got a friend. My only sin is in my skin. What did I do to be so black and blue?
Thank you so much. 100 years ago, in 1920, in Kansas City, was born a gentleman named Charlie Parker, who went on to become probably the foremost name in the whole bebop movement and all of that. And here on the anniversary of his birth, the centennial anniversary, we're going to play a tune of his called Donna Lee. I'm going to play his solo that from one of the recordings that I had, and so that's my part, and then I get to just sit back and listen to these three work their magic. So this is Charlie Parker's Donna Lee. you all so much. Thank you all so much. This has been fun. So, I catch my breath. I tell you a little bit about a couple things. So next week, there's still one more week to go of the 2020 festival. So tune in next weekend. I don't know about Saturday's outdoor concert. The last time I saw a weather forecast, it was looking really cold. So if it stays that cold, we're not going to be able to do it because we can't drag the Steinway out into cold weather like that. But if we can get up into the mid to upper 60s, then we'll be out there. So what that concert is next weekend is gonna have a chance to hang out and play with just Noah. Me and Noah are going to play some really cool chamber music for tuba and euphonium and piano, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. So looking forward to that. So if the Saturday one can happen outdoors, please come if you're in town. Otherwise, for sure, we'll be right here on Sunday afternoon at 4 on the YouTube channel and the Facebook and 97.3. So again, thanks to Steve and 97.3 for hosting us yet again today. Thanks to Jeff Gabalis and all he does. He's the wizard behind all the controls back here. You can't see him, but I can. And his able and trusty assistants, Jeff Peddlety and Jeff Gabalis' wife, Michelle Gabalis. And so thank you to you folks as well, because we could not do this without you being here. And we couldn't do this without you folks listening. I guess we could, but what would be the point? So thank you for listening. I mentioned the sponsors at the beginning of the program. Do thank them. They are important, and we couldn't do this without, but again, we couldn't do this without you, and there are so many folks that even if not at the sponsor level, that contribute to the festival. We appreciate that. We need that, and thank you. If you want to be part of that, again, you can go to either our Facebook page or the website. There are links on there for how to contribute. Or if you see me in person around town or call or whatever, happy to help you out with that. I mentioned we had a wonderful grant from the National Endowment for the Arts this year that helped us get through this season. The arts all over the world, all over the country, are in an interesting state right now with the COVID thing. So it's not a unique thing to Tuba Bach at all. It's we're all kind of wondering what's the future and how is this going to happen, and not only where did the audiences go and how can we get back to having people, but the funding and the whole everything, the model. So please help if you can. We appreciate your support, and we look forward to it, and look forward to seeing you all again in person real soon. I feel like sometimes we're sort of lost in this other crazy world. I can't wait to get back to reality. Kind of like, so this final song that we're going to play, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, it's like that. I feel like we're stuck in Oz. I can't wait until we can get back home and back to life as we all know it. So great to have Jeff back here on stage. He's going to join us for this. Thank you again so much for joining, and I hope that in years to come with Tuba Bach, you'll be up again. Look forward to that. Many thanks to Alvin, as always, for being here, and Marion, so good to have you back. Tariq, awesome to actually have a chance to play with you. So looking forward to that. So this is Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Tune in next week. Thank you all so much for being here today.